Hey guys, I'm not going to turn on the camera. Um, just going to do it like last time. Just going to have the screen here. Um, so, um, let's get to it. Today in history, most of you probably already know this one. Um, especially here in America. I'm an American and I live in America. Uh, so we definitely know this day. At 7:55 a.m. Hawaii time, a Japanese dive bomber bearing the red symbol of the rising sun of Japan on its wings appears out of the clouds above the island of Oahu. A swarm of 360 Japanese warplanes followed, descending on the U.S. naval base at Pearl Harbor in a ferocious assault. The surprise attack struck a critical blow against the U.S. Pacific Fleet and drew the United States irrevocably into World War II. With diplomatic negotiations with Japan breaking down, President Franklin D. Roosevelt and his advisors knew that an imminent Japanese attack was probable, but nothing had been done to increase security at the important naval base at Pearl Harbor. It was Sunday morning, and many military personnel had been given passes to attend religious services off base. At 7:02 a.m., two radar operators spotted large groups of aircraft in flight toward the island from the north, but with a flight of B-17s expected from the United States at the time, they were told to sound no alarm. Thus, the Japanese air assault came as a devastating surprise to the naval base. Much of the Pacific Fleet was rendered useless. 5 of 8 battleships, 3 destroyers, and 7 other ships were sunk or severely damaged, and more than 200 aircraft were destroyed. A total of 2,400 Americans were killed, and 1,200 were wounded, many while valiantly attempting to repulse the attack. Japan's losses were some 30 planes, 5 midget submarines, and fewer than 100 men. Fortunately for the U.S., all 3 Pacific Fleet carriers were out at sea on training maneuvers. These giant aircraft carriers would have their revenge against Japan 6 months later at the Battle of Midway, reversing the tide against the previously invincible Japanese Navy in a spectacular victory. That's all I'm going to read for right now. Incidentally, I'm not sure, but I think that at this time, um, Japan was also involved in a war with China called the Sino-Japanese War. Like I said, I know there was a Sino-Japanese War, at least one. Uh, you can look it up. I don't know whether it was this time or maybe it was a little bit earlier. So anyway, uh, so yeah, uh, remembrances to all the men and women in uniform who lost their lives on that tragic day. And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for. Proverbs chapter 2. My son, if you accept my words and store my commands within you, turning your ear to wisdom and applying your heart to understanding. Okay, let's stop right there. Wisdom, at least in Gnostic Christianity. Now, I don't know if this was the case in Judaism at this time, but in Gnostic Christianity, wisdom is either God's wife or Jesus' wife, and she is Sophia. So that's Gnostic Christianity. Now, I'm not sure if the Jews worshipped a goddess of wisdom. I do know they worshipped Asherah. That much I'm sure of. And if you go to my Gods and Goddesses of Canaan series, you'll find out more about Asherah. I also have 2 other episodes on Asherah. I'll link them in the description later on. Verse 3. Indeed, if you call out for insight and cry aloud for understanding, and if you look for it as for silver and search for it as for hidden treasure, then you will understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God. Okay, let's stop there. If God is love, and I'm not saying that he is, I don't even believe this God exists. But even if he did exist, he's not love. Not by a long shot. But if God is love, why would you fear him? Moving on. Verse 6. For the Lord gives wisdom. From his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. He holds success in store for the upright. He is a shield to those whose walk is blameless. Okay, let's stop there. First of all, nobody's walk is blameless. Even atheists are going to say people do wrong stuff all the time. Now, there's different shades of wrong, of course, but, I mean, it's just inevitable. We're human. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to do wrong things. So no one is blameless. And as for success, I've said this before. Success comes and goes. Not only for the upright, whatever that means, but also for the, I don't know, I guess the unupright. Hey, Doc. Thanks. So that doesn't work either, you know? This is why I say this is nonsense, by the way. Moving on, verse 8. For he guards the course of the just and protects the way of his faithful ones. Then you will understand what is right and just and fair. Every good path. Alright, let's stop there. No, absolutely not. People who follow this God, I know they run from everything from fundamentalist to progressive, okay? And on the fundamentalist side, you've got people who say, kill the gays, okay? So, no, I mean, how is it right to kill gay people? Alright? That's just ludicrous, alright? And what is the good path? What is every good path? Define it. I want you Christians out there, this is a challenge to all Christians. Please define what every good path is. Define what a good path is. Verse 10. For wisdom will enter your heart. Not necessarily. I know a lot of dumb Christians. A lot of smart Christians too, by the way. I'm not saying they're all dumb. And knowledge will be pleasant to your soul. Discretion will protect you, and understanding will guard you. Again, not in my experience. Verse 12. Wisdom will save you from the ways of wicked men, from men whose words are perverse. Again, we have a problem. Explain what you mean by perverse. Do you see what I'm saying when I say this is all nonsense? This is all gobbledygook. This is just throwing out words and hoping that somebody's like, oh, wow. Yeah, this is so wise. It's not wise. Verse 13. Who have left the straight paths to walk in dark ways? Again, define straight paths. Define dark ways. He doesn't do this. This is not wisdom. This is gobbledygook. Verse 14. Who delight in doing wrong and rejoice in the perverseness of evil. Wait a minute. Who delight in doing wrong? Excuse me, but back in this time, your God said it was okay to own people. We say it is not right to own people. So, no. No. Your God was wrong. We are not wrong. At least not in that. Again, sometimes we do things wrong. Everybody does things wrong. We're human. It's to be expected. Forgive yourself and move on. Don't be on this guilt trip. Don't let Christianity put you on this guilt trip of, I've just majorly screwed up and I need to do penance for the rest of my life because it's the only way I'm going to make it right. No, stop. That's not the way to think. That's not going to bring you happiness. That's going to lead you to depression. Verse 14. Wisdom will save you also from the adulterous woman, from the wayward woman with her seductive words. Okay, let's stop there. I have a problem with this. And it occurs everywhere in the Bible. The demonization of women. I have a problem with that. Not just because I'm a woman, but because it is degrading to humankind. Verse 17. Who has left the partner of her youth and ignored the covenant she made before God. Alright, let's stop there. Okay, so what? Men could leave the partner of their youth. Why is he singling out women here? Men could leave their wives. Say, I divorce you, get out of here. That's all they had to do. Okay? But you're demonizing women for doing the same thing? No. No. Not acceptable. And he goes on with demonizing women. Verse 18. Surely her house leads down to death, and her paths to the spirit of the dead. You're going to have to prove that one. Prove it. You made a claim, you've got to prove it. Verse 19. None who go to her return or attain the paths of life. I'm pretty sure you're wrong. Verse 20. Thus you will walk in the ways of the good and keep to the paths of the righteous. I don't know what you mean by righteous. I actually don't know what you mean by good either, because according to the God of the Old Testament, owning people is good, so I have no idea what to say to that. You know, obviously our definition of good today is a lot better than their definition of good in that day. Verse 21. For the upright will live in the land, and the blameless will remain in it. Again, no. No, 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 and no. And again, I need to remind you, none of us are blameless, except for the newborn. It's the only person who's blameless in this world. We all make mistakes. Verse 22. But the wicked will be cut off from the land, and the unfaithful will be torn from it. Wicked according to whose standards? The God who says owning people is okay? The God who says you should stone your disobedient children? Is that the good that we're talking about? Newsflash, people, that's not good. And what about the unfaithful? What do you mean unfaithful? Unfaithful to whom? Unfaithful to what? Uh, anyway, that's the end of chapter 2. I actually wasn't planning on getting, uh, through chapter 2 this quickly, but I guess I did. Wow. Lots of gobbledygook. And, as a Christian, I used to think, wow, the Proverbs are so wise. No, they're not. No, they're not. And I am so glad that I don't have to say that anymore. And I am so glad I don't have to respect a God who would say it's okay to own people, or respect a God who would demonize women, or respect a God who would say it's okay to stone your disobedient children. No, it is not okay, and it has never been okay. And if you think that it has ever been okay, you have got some serious problems. So, anyway, those are my thoughts. I just wanted to get on and, say my piece. I do have an edited video out, Origins of Satan, so go watch that. Remember, I picked my comments from comment of the week for my Saturday live streams from the edited content. Also, if you would like, you can support me on PayPal. Also, I do have a store. It's on my website. Link is in the description. Go see if there's something you'll want. You will not only be helping out the channel, but you will be getting something for your money. So, anyway, have a great day, and I will see you guys later. Bye.